This is the Relic Radio Show, old-time radio entertainment still standing the test of time, from relicradio.com. This is the Relic Radio Show, 60 minutes of radio drama brought to you every Tuesday by relicradio.com, where you can visit to find more from the series you're going to hear today, thousands of other old-time radio episodes, our Shoutcast stream, and everything else we have going on. You can donate through the website as well if you'd like to help support this and all of the shows. Click on that donate link or visit donate.relicradio.com if you'd like to help support us. Thank you, as always, to those who have. Our first show this week comes from High Adventure. We'll hear On the Roof of the World from April 14th, 1973. After that, it's John Steele, Adventurer, and Trail's End, his story from May 23rd, 1950.
Adventure. Tonight's story by Dorothy Bennett is entitled On the Roof of the World. The Chinese patrolled their borders and the Russians theirs. And the wind patrolled them both, sweeping down from the snows of the Hindu Kush with a fine disregard for political terrain. I wore the felt boots, the flapped leather cap, the skins and the furs that are standard dress in this part of the world. And I wondered what idiot impulse had made me bribe my way into this camel train to follow the old Silk Road across the roof of the world, just so that I could go home and write about it, if I survived. The name, by the way, is Ben Conyon. And in addition to myself, there was another stranger with the caravan. He called himself Paul Duclerc and claimed to be French, but my every instinct told me he was Russian. So what, I said. And as I said, the winds of the Hindu Kush know neither politics nor nationalities. In this part of Afghanistan, there can be energy for only one thing: survival. Oh, I never saw such whiteness. Not even a rock breaking the snow crust. Isn't this land ever green, Ollie?
In the summer, below the snow line.
I'll take your word for it.
You wish to experience a camel caravan in winter? It is beyond your imagining, no?
You're right. Oh, I thought I'd experienced cold, but never like this.
Here one needs a skin like leather, and a belly like iron, and still one suffers. Even the camels, the yaks, and the mountain ponies.
Yet you spend the best part of your life here. Why?
It is our home, where we were born and bred.
But these snows...
Are part of my people. Here we are down to elementals.
Yes. Under a sky so blue it blinds you, and a wind so cold it freezes you.
There's a sort of purity here. It is the snow. People speak of virgin snow, but to experience this is a sort of rebirth.
Yes. And for a historian, you wax poetical.
You are laughing at me?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sound offensive. You know, crossing these frozen rivers, these silent passes is bad enough, but at least we know each camp is only temporary.
That there is a return?
Exactly. But to live here...
You think it would be terrible?
Yes. You agree, Paul?
Lonely, but not terrible. The small communities through which we have passed have seemed to me to be happy.
Yes, but they miss so much.
Central heating and civilized diseases, pollution and politics.
Yes, you scored a point. Arlie, don't you ever wish to know something else?
I have visited the West. You have made impressive strides.
Ah, you see.
Impressive strides into chaos.
Touché. Here you're quite literally the men on a high roof. You can afford to be superior.
Not superior, my friend. Different. Allah's kindest gift to a man is to make him a member of a poor community.
On the premise that those who are loved are humble.
Rather say that those who are humble are not subject to the jealousy of others. Each nightfall you make maps.
Tracing the age-old routes? As a historian, that's my job.
Better make most of your time, then. I don't know about you, but it took me nearly 2 years to get permission to join this caravan.
My small country is surrounded by the great power groups. We have need to be wary.
Despite the fact that you are poor?
There is always the danger that we might be used as a corridor.
Oh, no army would survive this weather. We were spending the night in a village where I would have thought no village could survive. A cluster of half a dozen dwellings clinging to a mountain face, torn at by the eternal wind and half buried in snow. But there were women here, and children, to say nothing of the goats and the yaks. A curious smell overhung the quarters to which Paul and I had been assigned, a smell of dung and yak's wool and rancid tea. We were on the most northerly side of the Wakhan corridor, and moving ever closer to the borders of the Soviet Union, where in some remote settlement Ali intended to trade, bartering the goods he had brought with him in the camel train for lapis lazuli, the finest of wool cloth and handsome rugs.
I will leave you to sleep now. Sleep well, my friends. Tomorrow the pass takes us to nearly 14,000 feet, and there will be no rest for man or animal.
Well, how do you like the sound of that?
Oh, sound of what? Ali exaggerates. There is only one pass at that height.
You've been through this way before,
I thought I had made that clear when we left Kabul, no? But I've studied maps.
On whose behalf?
My own. You seem surprised.
Well, I just think you're earning a living the hard way.
What about you? Would not your books be just as effective, set on some balmy Pacific isle?
I want something different, even if I have to get frostbite to do it.
It seems a long time since we started out with this caravan.
It does. Another life. And that was strange enough.
Ben, had you considered waiting here and picking up the caravan on its return journey?
Not go on, you mean?
The next few days are going to be terrible, even for men who are used to this.
Had you thought of staying here?
No.
Then why suggest it?
The sort of cold you will experience tomorrow, the lack of oxygen, is a torture to which no man should subject himself unless he is desperate.
Well, it can't be worse than we've had.
It will be infinitely worse.
Are you desperate, Paul?
I need to complete my maps.
And I don't want to buckle in at the knees now. Thanks for the warning anyway. Good night.
Bonne nuit, my friend.
Is he asleep?
Yes. It took a long time. That's why I'm late.
Get inside the brazier. Warm yourself. It is no time for a man to be creeping from one shelter to another.
I am not cold, except with fear.
If the fates are willing for the venture to succeed, it will succeed.
The fates are not likely to take compassion on a man who has not made proper plans.
We have done our part. It is for them to do theirs now, at their end.
It is over a year since we were able to communicate, and then only through a third medium.
All the better. Where there is no constant intrigue, there is no suspicion.
The past worries me.
Others have survived it.
Until we are back at this point in our return journey, I shall not feel successful, however well it goes at the border.
The important thing to hurry without giving the appearance of speed.
You are sure your men are to be trusted?
How many times have you asked me that, Paul? No one will talk.
They don't know yet?
Not yet.
When will you tell them?
After we have climbed the pass, perhaps. Perhaps never.
You may need their help.
They take their leadership from me. If I twist the truth a little in the name of mercy, they twist it with me.
In the name of mercy or expediency?
You must not doubt me now, Paul.
How many of us journey onwards?
6. And the 4 baggage camels.
Are you counting the Englishman?
I understood that you did not wish him to come, that you were going to dissuade him.
He is determined to accompany us.
Then let him. It won't matter.
We know nothing of him.
He would not have been allowed to join my caravan had he not been vouched for.
But we know nothing of him as a man, an individual.
You are afraid of his politics?
I do not know them.
After all these weeks?
I only know what he says. He could be a first-class actor.
An actor who watches you.
That could be the case, could it not?
If he had wanted you, Paul, he would have hardly crossed the Hindu Kush to get you when he could have destroyed you in Kabul.
Ali, you mentioned that a poor country is less liable to pressure than a rich one. That applies to men, too.
You mean that a man with a poor brain is left undisturbed?
Is he not?
Like a cabbage, until he's cut off. But a man without a brain is as barren as a desert.
And as uncaring.
Men have strange fancies at altitude, and we are already high up. It will go well at the border.
The day after tomorrow.
Yes, the day after tomorrow.
And when your cameliers see a woman has joined the caravan, what then?
It is not always easy to tell the sex when a person is muffled in the furs and felts and the skins of winter.
They will have to know.
To start with, they will think I have bought myself a wife in the bazaar.
I long for the next 2 days, and I fear them.
There will be no time for worrying tomorrow, Paul. It will take all your thoughts, all your feelings, all your skill to cross the pass.
I knew nothing of this conversation between Paul and Ali. I was dead to the world, as I had been night after night on our grueling journey through Afghanistan. It was my practice to wake an hour or two before dawn and write up my notes by the light of a torch while Paul slept. But on this particular morning I had no such time. We were awakened while it was still dark.
You are still determined to come, Ben?
Why should I drop out now?
Half the cameliers are staying behind here.
And for what reason?
The pass is not every man's meat. 1 or 2 are married to the women of this village. And anyway, they trust Ali to trade for them.
And some of them don't think it too healthy to stray quite so close to the Russian border.
I wouldn't know about that.
You're Russian, aren't you?
With a name like Duclerc?
What's in a name? I only know what you've seen fit to tell me.
Meaning?
I don't know you're French any more than you know I'm English.
On your passport, it states you are English.
So you sneaked to look at that, did you?
One has to be wary of one's traveling companion.
Yes, I'm English, all right. But it didn't occur to me to delve into your passport.
You wish to see it?
Oh, I'm sure it's in order. These things can be arranged.
Just what are you driving at?
You evoke a memory, Paul. A face, a name.
What name?
I can't for the life of me remember.
I am who I say I am.
All right, fair enough. I don't give a darn about your past or your future.
What do you know about my future?
Nothing. Haven't I just said...
You have accused me of masquerading as a Frenchman. Now you speak about my future as though you had some inner knowledge.
Look, I assure you I haven't. We've had an easy slog of it through these winter snows. It's of more importance to me that a man should have endurance than nationality.
I am Russian by birth and by upbringing until I was 13. Then my mother widowed. She married a Frenchman and was given permission to take me with her to France. She relinquished her Russian citizenship.
And you took your adoptive father's name?
Precisely.
I wondered why he should think it necessary to lie. We were interrupted by a woman bringing us tea, and the water tasted smoked and it was flavored with salt. Not my favorite way to start a journey. And when Paul and I stepped outside, it was to find Ali already mounted, along with 5 of his cameliers. The stars were still bright in the sky, the ground frozen and glittering. There was no wind, but I knew it was only in hiding somewhere, gathering strength. All day the sky remained overcast, and this added to our misery. I thought Paul had forgotten our pre-dawn conversation and his suspicions of my sincerity,